find it in every branch of science. It's the resonance frequencies of matter. The ratio of pi to 4, incidentally, is 1.2732. I've written a lot about that 2732 number. This is not to get lost in those numbers, although I will touch on 81 later because it's relevant to this, and Dean mentioned it earlier. So here's the key. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, then it transcends, starts another octave, same again, same again. I said earlier, if you try this, you can meditate upon this and bring into reality anything that you want. You've heard of this concept, certainly in the New Age way of thinking. Yeah?
Law of attraction and whatnot.
The law of attraction. Do you know why when you try the law of attraction you actually attract a ton of shit?
It's not the same as cosmic ordering.
Yeah, same thing. Now if it worked, everyone would be out there doing it, the world would be a great place. It does work, just they never told you.
But when you're meditating on that scale, do you be playing the notes in your head, or would you be just...
No, what I'm saying is when you're meditating correctly, this is what your head is doing.
Right.
You don't have to meditate on the numbers.
So
if you do meditate on the numbers, it will take you to a place that Shaman have described for centuries. Alright? That's why I said earlier, although a lot of this might be offensive or irrelevant to some people, don't dabble with this. This is the occult. And that is one message over the years that is right. You don't dabble with the occult until you understand it, because it will turn around and it will bite you. And it's been designed that way. You see, in these secret societies, they don't teach you occult knowledge so you can go out and beat them. They teach you so you can go out and do their bidding. And here's the key. We've already ascertained there's 7 notes in an octave, and the 8th note is the transcendent. It's the sum of the ones that went before. It transcends and becomes the first note of the next octave. 3 octaves in total. Form, physical creation, physical reality in our 3-dimensional space. They do, of course, continue beyond that in 4 dimensions, and the frequency commencing here is the square of the speed of light. Great one, that. Nothing in this universe can go faster than the speed of light. We all know that one, yeah? That's what science tells you. See the equation that proves that? Well, you know it, it's E equals mc squared. Ask a physicist, if nothing can go faster than the speed of light, why the bloody hell have you got the square speed of light in your equation then?
Light travels at 22,000 miles a second, isn't it?
22.
It's actually not that accurate. But you brought me to something I wasn't going to mention. It's actually 300,000 kilometers per second.
7.5 times around the world, isn't it?
Yeah, 300,000 kilometers per second. 3. That's what it is. Drop your zeros. Light is 3. Here it is. 3 things. It is down to numbers. Now, anyway, Pythagoras tells you that there aren't actually just 7 notes in the octave. This is the octave of creation as it exists in our 3-dimensional reality. But there is a greater reality of which this is merely part. So what law applies to everything? What law applies to all of those other realities, whatever the hell they are? The law is the same as applies here, but what they don't tell you, but it is there for anyone who wants to know. It goes do, re, mi, and then at this point, Pythagoras called it a comma. He said nature demands a comma at those 2 points, after mi and after t. Okay? I'll tell you what these are in a minute. So we put them in. There we go, just roughly. Do, re, mi, comma, fa, sol, la, ti, comma, do. Each comma being a semitone, an additional semitone. Now if you do that, whatever it is you're doing, music or otherwise, the notes become perfect. They do not detune like you heard there before, the beating of the frequencies. They don't detune. Everything in nature detunes. It detunes at the T point. Alright? Music isn't perfect. Nothing in 3 dimensions is perfect. This alludes to heaven and so on, being perfect, that above. This is how to make things actually resonate properly. This is what, if you meditate upon having gained a little bit of knowledge about it, and I say this in all seriousness, opens up all human knowledge that ever existed or ever will. That's a profound thing to say. But that knowledge lies there, just above there. All you have to do when you meditate is take yourself to that position. Now, we've all heard stories of shaman and meditation, and this can be induced by drugs as well, whatever, up to that level of consciousness. The point I struggle to make, because if it was easy, you'd all know this, we'd all know it by now. The Pythagorean commas, the way to create something which resonates with the natural universe is to construct it not with the 7 notes, but with 9. Okay? So your octave now is not defined just by the number 7, it's also defined by the number 9. There's 9 notes in an octave, and the square of 9 is 81. This is stuff I've written about before, for those who haven't picked up on it. And 81 is the number which unlocks and unifies every scientific field of investigation. Because if you reciprocate 81, you get base 10, 0.0123456789, recurring infinitely. 81 unites the number systems. So what I'm saying is that there is a perfect level of creation, and we, in 3 dimensions, are slightly detuned and slightly imperfect. That actually should resonate with some of the Bible stories you were told as well. And the challenge for humanity is to get its consciousness, and I have to say not its individual consciousness, not you or you, but the group consciousness, the mind of humanity. That's the mind of this planet, and this planet is as alive and conscious as you are. And science is beginning to realise that now. It works to the 9 notes in an octave. What this is implying is that everything throughout creation at all orders is the same above as it is below. It's not implying it, it actually will prove it. As above, so below. That's the Hermetic comment that came down through the ages. Everything above is the same as that below. Everything in this reality is the same as that beneath, the subquantum, and so on. So let's
fractals as well, isn't it?
Sorry?
Fractals as well.
Yeah. We could touch on the fractal side, but that sort of blows people's heads off. Here's the point. What the hell has this got to do with a conspiracy? Now, I know I've not proved anything to you here, I've just tried to give you an insight. But if you can take it on a step further, and I'll come back to the commas in a minute, take it on a step further and realise that at some point in history, there's some people who really knew how everything worked. Where they got it from is open to debate. Did they learn it themselves over time, or was it given to them? By definition, if I gave you the answers to the universe, to every scientific field that could describe that universe, and this would unify all of those sciences together, you'd have to be a pretty bright person to know that, wouldn't you? Well, history actually tells you who did it and how they did it. And every race and religion around the world tells you the same. It was given to them by this fellow who came down out of the sky and gave it to them. Choose not to believe that if you wish, but wake up if you don't believe that. Because this is fundamental to what's happening now. Okay? If you can comprehend for a minute that at least, I want to accept that this is right, that this knowledge has been known throughout history, it's actually been used against you and is today. What's it about? Where did it come from? And why did the people who gave us this knowledge originally allow us to lose it? And where are they now? Did they actually ever go away? Because when this knowledge was imparted originally, the people it was imparted to were as much slaves of that system as you are of this one. But they did live a more spiritual life, you might say. This knowledge